Hey guys, it's me, Liv. I hope everyone's doing good out there. So today I'm bringing you a very simple project that I'm going to be doing. I'm actually participating in a challenge over at Spectrum Arts, and she gave out these luggage tags, and you had to see what you can create with them. So I've decided I'm just going to really do some decorating of this luggage tag, featuring some of the paper that I have left over in my stash from previous backgrounds I was working on. So I have this one that I decided I'm just going to go ahead and trim it down. So I've already gone ahead and measured the front here, and then I also using another scrap background that I have when I was doing some gel plates for the back piece of it. So this is going to be the front part that I'm going to decorate. Then I'm going to grab the back piece and I'm going to trim it down just a bit to again fit onto the base of this luggage tag. Once I have that all trimmed out, I'm just going to go ahead and glue it down. Now I am using just some regular tape running glue that I have, as I usually get most of my tape running glue over from Hobby Lobby. I did go ahead and use my corner punch in order to round it so it looks similar to the luggage tag, and now it's time to get it all glued down. Now, one of the mistakes I realized that I made in this project is that I probably should have used a different type of glue that wouldn't leave any lines, because you could see with the tape runner glue, it did end up leaving some lines in my surface. Don't love it, but because it is going to ultimately be a mixed media style piece, I don't think you notice it as much. I think it's just in my head. So now that I've gotten that down, I'm going to go ahead and move on to decorating the front piece here. And if you notice, I also cut a little bit short, but again, that's okay because no one's really going to see the front side of it, because that's going to glue down on it, and that is the perfect height for it. I thought I would add a little bit of a running strip onto the top part of this card, because I think it just melts well with it and breaks it up just a little bit more between all of the colors that we have there. So let me just go ahead and trim that off and get that started. Now, if you like the stamp set that I'm using, this one is by Copics Studios, and it is called Background Time to Time. And I love the fact that it has the stamped images, some writing, and some different types of other stars and such, really to give a great feel. I'm using this Memento Luxe mixed media black pad. I decided to press because it's going to be a little bit random. One of the things I noticed is by doing it this way, it didn't really allow for as much of a deep color as I would like, but that's okay. It's going to be the base, and then I'll work on building it up from there. I usually do have a box of embellishments that I keep, and so I have this butterfly that someone sent me in a swap, and then I'm using these two flowers that I had pre-cut out of some other background papers that I made. I believe, I can't remember what stamp set this is, but it has both the stamps and the dies with it. You probably see me use it in other videos. It'll come to me at some point. But anyway, I'm just trying to figure out how exactly I want it laid out. And once I got that, I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. But first, the background was still bothering me a little bit because this didn't have enough pizzazz. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and take out a stencil from my stash, and I'm going to go ahead and use some Distress Oxide colors that work really well on top of this paper here and in the same color scheme. So this one is Mermaid Lagoon. I'm just putting it on different parts of the front. Then I'm going to go into some Squeezed Lemonade, using the same technique, and then finally finish it off with some cracked pistachio. Again, I feel like oxides, I think just the way that they're made, do sit a little bit more on the surface, so I do prefer to use oxide when I already have a busy background to make sure that it stays prominent. And once I have that, then I'm going to actually do just a little bit more stamping, because I was a little disappointed with how light this particular version came out. So I thought that adding some more rich black would work really well for this project. So just make sure that you clean off your stencil, and then, like I mentioned before, I'm using the same exact stamp. It's not a new one, but this time, because the pressure is coming from on top, I think that helps to lend it to get a much more deeper black like you see here. My focus is not to get a strong imprint, it's just really to add that whole mixed media feel. So, you know, I turn it on different angles and do things such as that, just to go ahead and get some black on there. And to finish off this project, I'm just going to go ahead and pick it up and ink all of the edges in that same black. I do think inking along the sides always seems to finish off a project in such a nice way. I tend to do it in a lot of my projects. So now I'm going to take out my butterfly that you had saw earlier. I'm going to take out those two flowers that you saw earlier, but I did feel like the two flowers that I had picked out initially were just too much of the same color. So I'm actually going to use a little bit of Distress Oxide on them just to brighten them up. So I'm going to take out that squeezed lemonade again and really add that Distress Oxide more to the center of it because I'm just trying to lighten it up just a tad. So now that I have that, I can go ahead and glue down these two flowers here. Now for this gluing, I am going to take out my art glitter glue because I think that would make a much better adhesive for this project once I have both the flowers glued down. I've actually decided to pop up the butterfly. I just think the foam tape adds a great dimension here. So I do tend to stock up lots of foam tape. So once that is done, I need to pull out a sense of it from my stash. I do have a box of strips that I usually do ahead of time in different types of colors and backgrounds so that I can easily take it out. And I do a whole bunch in white because that's easy for me to then take out my distress and just color over it if I need to for a project. To add even more dimension, I did put some foam tape in the back of the sentiment. I have it right here on front, and now I just need to glue it down onto the front part of the luggage tag. So I'm just going to go ahead and make sure it lines up exactly before I go ahead and give it a good press down. I am using art glitter glue for this. You could probably use regular glue gun or any type of score tape or anything as well. Now my final touch is just to add some ribbons to the very top. So I'm taking out my crocodile, repunching that hole that you see on top of the luggage tag that already exists. And then I'm going to take out some different fibers that I have in my stash. And I'm just using one simple knot that I'm going to put on top. And these are just two different fibers that I have in the matching green and yellow color just to bring that color out a bit. There is my completed project. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Got so much for watching and spending your time with me. I will see everyone soon, and I hope you guys have a great week. Bye-bye.